Today, I want to talk about those people who deserve great respect because of their actions. It's no secret that the most precious thing to parents is their children. But, alas, the modern way of life leaves less and less opportunity to spend time together with their children. The main reason is work, and every couple copes differently. Some ask friends to babysit, some resort to the help of grandparents, and some go a more practical way and hire a nanny. Jonathan and his wife are a young couple from California. The family lives in the town of Irvie, and they have a young son, George. Both parents work full-time jobs. Jonathan is in real estate, and his wife is a lawyer in a large company. Because of the constant workload at work, they hardly had time for their child, and they had to take care of his upbringing. They had to take him for walks in the fresh air, prepare meals, and so on. As often happens in such cases, finding someone to entrust the baby to is a very responsible and time-consuming process. Called half of the agencies asked many nannies. The couple still settled on one candidate for such an important role. The honor to raise the child went to Jenny Baker, a young woman with little experience. Spouses saw as carrying their child girl as literally spoon-fed and protected at every step, and at the same time, doting as if this child is her own. Most importantly, it was not nasty playfulness, as it happens with many nannies tell parents. As usual, after school, Jenny took her ward to play on the playground. Outdoor games were always a must for the growing body, and the child had already developed among the rides, as if nothing had happened. She hadn't been sitting nearby, keeping the watchful eye out to make sure the baby didn't fall, and nothing terrible happened. When finally George came running back tired, but happy, Jenny brought him up to date, and the couple headed home. But as they crossed the threshold, the nanny literally sensed that something wasn't right in the house. First of all, she saw that some things are stacked completely different from how she left them, and in the rooms in general outright disorder. Of course, cleaning was also part of her duties, and she always cleaned up after her walk, but this mess could not be cleaned by a child in any way, especially since they had been studying all morning and the toys were stacked. At that moment, the nanny realized that there was someone in the house, someone else, and she and the child are in real danger. But in the moment of realization, the child had already escaped into the kitchen, while shouting her name loudly and calling for her to come with her. Immediately, Jenny heard noises upstairs and realized they were not alone. There is no telling what any of us would do in this extreme situation, especially a defenseless, fragile girl, especially when unprepared for such situations, not knowing who was upstairs, how many there were, and what to expect from them. But she was not confused. She ran deep into the kitchen, picked up her ward in her arms, and ran out into the street. The danger seemed to be over. But then she saw a large man's silhouette coming down the stairs straight toward her. Instead of panicking, the girl immediately ran to her neighbors and called the police, keeping the baby close to her at all times. Surveillance footage shows what happened, including the babysitter's quick reaction to what was going on. The video shows the burglar sneaking inside, walking around the house looking for jewelry and purses. Jonathan, once he learned of the incident, admitted that it was hard for him to imagine that such a thing could happen to his family. My whole sense of security in the house is completely disrupted, the man says. What she did for my son is unbelievable. I'm very grateful for her and glad to have her in our lives. Honestly, it's amazing. After all, usually everyone only thinks for their own lives. And here's a fragile girl who was not afraid and still thought about someone else's child first. The couple believe that the nanny has literally become a guardian angel for their son, because she did not leave the child for a moment. To which Jenny modestly replies that she does not consider herself a heroine. After all, that's what anyone would have done in her place. But, as the Irvine police say, in such extreme situations, the perpetrator could behave in any way, up to the most serious consequences. Friends, what do you think of the young girl's actions? Write your opinion in the comments, but that's all for today. See you soon.